was younger, Fashion Week seemed something so far away. You know, I was like, I could never be part of that.
It's a very narrow, specific look for Fashion Week, and I think that's where the standards are most aggressive.
I have a box, and you should stay pretty close in it.
If you're white and you are thin and you're cisgender, you have the privilege to be nothing. You have the privilege to be boring. They book all the shows, they book all the editorials, and it's fine. But if you're anything outside of that, it's like, well, we have these three, that's enough.
I still don't see a lot of kids like me. Like, I don't see a lot of LGBT, queer, you know, black men kind of putting themselves in these garments. And even though they are, I just don't see them where they should be, you know? Like, I don't see them with all the other queer, white, gay men who are like doing these crazy Vogue editorials. It would be a bit different if, you know, we had people like me kind of in these articles.
I am miserable when I am trying to assimilate. I was super depressed at one point when I felt like I couldn't fit in that binary, when I felt like my body didn't live up to these standards.
Cis, skinny folks, or I feel like they think that marginalized people or marginalized bodies are like, or it's like second best, or like there's some kind of hierarchy. We have to give in to whatever the hierarchy says, you know? Like that we have no autonomy over our bodies. Once we like hear those narratives of like, you have to do this, or you have to do this because you're trans, or you have to do this because you're fat, like, it's like, you won't get the chance ever again. It's like, yes, one, yes, I will. Two, I don't have to do anything you says.
People love something that they've never seen before. People admire things that, you know, are outer worldly to them. They're like, wow, this black man with blonde hair, he can't be real. Oh, baby, I'm real. And I'm human, and so are you, so respect me. I don't allow myself to not be included. I barge my way through every situation. I make sure that you know who I am and you understand who I am.
You know, when I do shoots and I'm the only black model, and then I look at my makeup and I look gray, or whether it's dealing with hair, you know, I've been on sets where people have tried to cut my hair because they were frustrated about like the time it was taking, and just decided that they cut it and just put hair on, like it'll be fine. It's like, no, you don't get to make decisions for my body or make decisions on my image just because you aren't prepared.
If they say they need a blonde boy, they don't say they need a black blonde boy, because that's two different things. So I'm going into these castings and they may be a little shocked. It would be beautiful to see if I just came in as me, and then they were just like, yes, perfect. Hopefully, soon enough, all spaces will be for me. All spaces will be inclusive enough to be for us.
I definitely think that people prefer to cast a trans person over a black person. Wow, I really feel disappointed in saying that, but it's my reality. I don't think that, or I don't believe that for a lot of the castings that I would get the gig had I not been a trans person first.
I'm just not something that you can touch and you can grab and grope at. People come up to me and say, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. Can I? And before I even can say no, their hand is in my hair, groping me like I'm a pet.
They just love to just pull it so tight. Does this look like it feels good? Does this look like I can be like pretty? Right? And it's like, that is actual torture. Like, you out there, imagine having your hair pulled as tight as possible for 12 plus hours and having to look beautiful. I will say, I don't like it when I go to set and they're like, do your own hair, it's fine. Because the white girls get their hair done. Like, why don't I get, like that's not, no, that's discrimination. Like, they get a hair person and I don't, like, that's discrimination. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't like that. We don't do that.
I think this idea around race and around fat bodies or around transness, you know, creatives like to make spectacles of bodies like that. And I think some of it can get to really offensive places.
I would like to see a day when me and other people could have the privilege of just being like boring. You have to be If you're not that, you have to be like exceptional. And there's nothing wrong with being exceptional if that was the standard for everyone.
I've been in situations where I had to ask to be paid, and then like if I'm not, it's like I get kind of the scraps, or I just get tossed to the side because I want that kind of push and I want to be, you know, paid for my work.
You have a white model painted black and with African head wrap on. It's like, how did that happen? Like, and everybody blames the model. Like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. But it's like, you know, you're being pressured to like give everything to this industry. So I think we need to either step further back of like who we're putting in charge of production, who are we putting in charge of these creatives, and why aren't we having conversations about this? Why is the last say something coming out super offensive, you know? So I think, you know, again, having marginalized folks in the room or in the creative process will make better outcomes.
Usually it's like just like what they put us in, garments, like what they're dressing people in. If I know like I get the bottom of the barrel and then like I'm set in the back, like little things like that kind of ticks afterwards. It is something that we think about afterwards because we don't have the means to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like we're not getting paid millions, thousands of dollars to kind of do what these other models are doing. So it's, you know, you say yes, but then after you're like, I literally completely killed my sanity, but you know, it's hard, but gotta do it, I guess.
Honestly, I think brands just want to be associated with and applauded for doing something that they should have been doing for decades.
People look at you and all they see is, like I said, is your exterior. And you could be way more than that. Well, you are way more than that. You definitely have a story to tell. You have this is your body and yours only. And with that being said, people need to identify you as what you want to be identified as.
Remembering to smile, that's one of the things that can be so hard. Because if I'm standing there in this outfit I put together to hide my body hair, to make my body look as like, also I have a curvy, traditionally black body, I have a big butt. So like wearing, you know, the black clothes and the heels and all of these things and making sure my hair is just in place and maybe putting on a little bit of makeup to make myself look like I tried, you know, to make myself look less gay. In part being evaluated on how well I did those things and then also being evaluated in other ways, and to not feel that historical trauma and trauma in my own life around being evaluated for my blackness and queerness. Is she too black or too queer for me to hire for a job at an office, for a job at a coffee shop, to get into my college, to let into this bar or restaurant, to sit at the good table, to smile? And I think that's one of the things that makes it so hard to be a queer black mom. And I don't want to say hard like, oh, it's woe is me, but that's one of the things that can make it challenging, is to smile while all this stuff is happening.
There have been shoots where I've been, say, in an all male or all masculine cast, and when we have to strip to change clothes, you know, the first thing that happens is everyone stares at my chest, and I'm just kind of like super uncomfortable in these moments. There are more conversations about having a range and variety of people, for instance, on a fashion shoot or on a runway. If I'm gonna talk about what an ideal treatment is, or how I want the industry to treat me, I think the only thing I can say again is that we need to get rid of gender. And I understand having masculinity and femininity, but in those ways, if we get rid of gender, we're not looking for any one particular thing. Please put us in positions of power, because we can help you, and we can help you move away from such antiquated traditions that are kind of holding us back as a whole.
For me to say the traditional body standards are being challenged on a wide scale, there would have to be wide-scale change. It wouldn't be segmented to several runways.
If we want to be more inclusive in general, let's include everyone regardless of what they identify as. There's no one look to what a woman should look like, and there's no one look to what a man should look like, or that there's no one look to what a human should be. And so I'm glad that we are moving forward here, and I hope that we just continue to do so.